Monrovia, the capital of Liberia. 3 years after the end of a brutal civil war, the country is still struggling to get back on its feet. A 15,000-strong UN presence ensures peace in this country of 3.5 million people, whilst the new government is trying to meet the challenges of rebuilding the nation. Everything is needed: health services, sanitation, schools, but maybe most importantly, the reintegration of the 100,000 or more former fighters. In today's Liberia, employment spells peace. I have come here to find out what the government is doing to bring the ex-combatants back into the system. The stakes are high. Failure could cause the country to spiral back into violence. Today's newspaper speaks about 85% unemployment in Liberia. There are next to no jobs to be found in the formal employment sector. So I've come down here to one of Monrovia's main streets to see what work ex-combatants are finding for themselves. Persuading customers to get into a particular taxi has become a means of survival for many ex-combatants. For this, the cab driver tips them $5 Liberian, about 10 US cents. This is how Prince Dolo earns the barest of essentials.
Anything we want in this country for we the youth is job. When we got job, we leave the street. We got nothing to do on the street. Now why we born. And some of us, we left, some of we not want to school, they walk in. We not learn nothing, but we live by the gun. No, I'm not going to school. But you put gun in my hand now, I'll example and dismantle for you.
Many ex-combatants like Prince started as child soldiers. He takes me to Monrovia's Central Cemetery, which has become home for scores of the most destitute. Prince is advised to go ahead to obtain permission for us to enter the graveyard. Why? What happens if we go inside without asking?
They people, they are not good set of people who are there. So rough people.
Yeah.
What's up, man? I want to change.
When we enter the graveyard, an argument erupts. The other ex-combatants have spotted our radio mic on Prince and suspect he's spying for the police. They beat him, and we are told to leave.
I fuck on a battlefield of MPF and last one, man. We do our slaughter in Tina. Why the Belamuga down, eh? To that, yes, my head. Oh, get nothing.
This is the second time we're actually trying to go in. The first time we tried, nobody agreed, and there was a fight breaking out. So we've had long negotiations, and we're just trying again. How long have you been sleeping in the graveyard? 4 months. 4 months? That's all bullet holes. Many of the former fighters here are addicted to cocaine and heroin. Some started young when their commanders fed them drugs to make them fearless in battle.
See this big girl? She was incorporated into the war.
For me, it's
11 years. She's an ex-general. For real. I work along with her. She's an ex-general. Hey, you see her condition? She's sick. She have no one to take her to terrorist treatment. She's like, because of the ignorance, she's going all over.
How old is she now?
How are you?
20 years.
20 years now?
Ex-general. I think you can see.
Oh, that's where people are sleeping.
People sleep here because of the rain. When the rain, there's no shelter at all.
Mohammed, a US-educated former combatant leader, volunteers as our guide. Recently, he was attacked with a machete after he was caught stealing to feed his heroin habit.
We are traumatized. We're not ourselves. We are the babies. We grow up into the society of saying wrong things. You didn't see anything good. You didn't see no school bench. You didn't see no blackboard. You didn't see no teacher. You didn't see no mom, no dad. So who's your guardian then? Yourself, right then. You came up that way. So you came up that way. You came out to see people that came up that way. They'll live together. Because the only people you can understand.
For some of these ex-combatants, help might come too late. But at the end of the conflict in 2003, UNMIL, the United Nations mission in Liberia, and local NGOs started reintegration and skills training projects across the country. We visit a project in Tupmanburg. Here, those who are still under the age of 18 are learning a range of skills, from carpentry to hairdressing. What's the age group here in this class?
14 to 18.
14 to 18.
Yes. All ex-soldiers.
Ex-soldiers.
Fighters. We teach them how to learn how to perm hair, to do wash and set, setting, braiding, weaving.
You've got some very young ones there, yeah? The little guy in the yellow shirt in the back. How old is he?
Your age?
13. What does somebody that little do in a conflict?
Well, give information, sending in the communities, and then he goes to find out who is this place, where they have their commanders, where they have their ammunitions and all that kind of thing. He gave them information.
These guys get them during their formative years.
Yeah.
After that, so much damage, so you have to kind of go back. I mean, trying to make them become children again is a hard job.
These youngsters are heading for graduation and will hopefully soon earn an income. But not all are so lucky. The UN vastly underestimated the number of ex-combatants wanting to enter training programs, and while 65,000 are in projects now, many are still on waiting lists. In a country rich in natural resources, some ex-fighters have decided to exploit that wealth. We travel north to find them. This area is full of diamonds, rubber, gold, and there's no infrastructure to speak of whatsoever. Near Loafer Bridge we meet Victor, one of a group of ex-fighters turned diamond miners. Why are you all in this place? Is it that you came because of the mine? You wanted to find work in the mine?
Yes, again, really, because the government got no opportunity for it. There's no job facility. We came to struggle to find ways of life to survive. Because I think you saw the situation downtown Monrovia. There's no way a youth can make it there now. The business of mining.
Victor takes us to the diamond mines, which he knows from his time as a combatant. Much of the fighting here centered on the control of natural resources, which fueled the war. Liberia's so-called conflict diamonds are still banned for export by the international community to prevent a return to violence. But it's ex-combatant control of another resource that poses a far graver threat to the government. This is a report issued by the government of Liberia and the United Nations. It's been written by a group that investigated the situation in the country's rubber plantations. It says there is a key problem in that 2 of the biggest rubber plantations are actually in the hands of ex-combatants, and that could pose a serious problem to the government. Luggage for Greenville? I head south to Sino County, where 600,000 acres of rubber trees are illegally controlled by an army of ex-combatants and their former commander, Paulson Garty, once known as General Satan. The roads to the southeast have been completely destroyed by the civil war, and the heavy rains are making travel really difficult. The main way for people to get to the southeast now is with the UN helicopter.